So let's talk about why people are vulnerable to scams during the holidays. I'm going to guess first for a second. Is it because they're sort of doing so much online and rushing through it? Like, what makes us more vulnerable?
Yeah, it's definitely all down to the rush. We're so busy. I mean, we're 2 days away from Christmas here. Everyone just wants to get it done. There's that hard deadline. You can't miss that. And so we're probably not paying attention to the small signs of, things that might be, indicative that something is a little bit amiss and we just want to finish it. So cyber criminals know this. They take advantage of it. And it's also a bit of a numbers game. If you think of digital fraud, it's all about covering as many victims as possible and following us where we are in the digital space. Well, this time of year, we're all shopping. So that's where criminals are going to find us. They're going to make their attacks, their messages look like they're shopping related. Just like, in a couple of months, it's going to be all about the Super Bowl. They match it to the season, and this is the season, and it happens every year. Yet every year we kind of seem to ignore it because we're just so busy, focusing on this one thing.
So we're talking about things like tampered gift cards, messages, as you said that seem real, the fake deal messages too that come through. Are there common red flags that shoppers and online users should be watching for?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is it often looks like an ad in social media, and that's becoming an increasing vector of attack. It's a very slick looking ad. It's got a video in it, a demo. It's probably an emotional pull. It looks amazing. It's something that you absolutely have to have, and all you need to do is click here to buy it. Social media makes it really easy for cyber criminals to hide sort of their true origins, and that is an incredibly popular way of reaching out, especially because we spend so much time in social media. They're meeting us where we are. We might get an email or a text message from a delivery company. Sorry, we tried to deliver that package and we failed. So click here to rearrange delivery with FedEx or UPS or Canada Post or whatever. That's a common one as well. Click on that link and you've been had. It might look like an email just advertising this week's Christmas sales from a retailer that you're familiar with. But if you look a little bit closely, even though the logos and the graphics and everything are just absolutely bang on, something is a little bit amiss. Maybe the URL, the web address has an extra letter in it or something. But again, you got to lean in to notice this. Or you'll be asked to pay with a gift card. Get a lot of these pop-ups just before you check out. Pay with a gift card, a prepaid credit card. Download an app for a payment service that you've probably never heard of. We know, or even paying cryptocurrency. Obviously, no real retailer would ever do that. But again, you're rushing. You may just blip right through it without even giving it a second thought.
How soon can we get in trouble? And I'm going to give you the practical example because I don't mind being the guinea pig here. So you see an ad come up on your social feed and you click on it. And then this, I did this yesterday. And then I'm like,
Mhm.
I shouldn't have done that. And so then usually I will clear out my search and then I'll try to Google the website for the retailer that I thought it was for. And I'll try to then get to a legitimate site or what I think is a legitimate site. Are you already in trouble though because you clicked on the ad from your social media to get to the sites? Like how
It
sophisticated are these things getting?
It is possible, and a lot of it depends on the particular sort of attack form. So in some cases, click once and you are taken to a rogue site that might install malware or might steal your information or might do something that compromises you immediately. Or in some cases, you get off lucky and the payload isn't as scary as it probably could be. And so maybe you can back out of it and you'll be okay. But you did mention something that I think is really worth repeating is that you backed out of the experience and then you opened up a browser and you did your own research, and that is absolutely crucial. Never follow those links home. Never answer a phone call or click on a link or go to a website that they tell you to. Just because they say they're this store doesn't mean that you should trust them. So if you do your own research, do your own searches, follow through, and then creep them separately to make sure that, yeah, this is an actual website, or I've actually found that deal that I saw on social media. That can save you a lot of trouble, prevent you from being pulled into that particular scam.
What about the calls, emails, and texts, that kind of stuff that you mentioned? What do we look for to figure out whether or not that's legitimate, if it's coming from a bank or a delivery service?
I mean, the first thing to do is don't engage, right? Is we think that we have to engage, but we really don't. The world isn't going to end if you don't follow that link home, answer that email, answer that text. And so my sort of 3 words that I advise everyone is always check the source because using social media and the platform that they're on to hide the source so that you aren't incentivized to figure out that they aren't in fact who they say they are. And so I will then move to a separate non touchscreen device. So if you're on your smartphone or your tablet, bail out of that device and go to your computer and use what I call the hover method. Take your mouse, hover over the email address, the web address, wait for it to pop up. That's not engaging with it, and you're not actually getting into trouble there, but it will show you that chances are, if it's your bank or your payment processor or a retailer, they wouldn't be using a Hotmail or a Gmail account to reach out to you. Or if you know the URL or the web address of the retailer that you're supposed to be dealing with, you can usually tell that, oh, they inserted an extra letter, or it's from a .ru domain. I'm pretty sure that the stores that I shop at don't originate in Russia.
So I'm going to just interject for a second because I know you have more to share, but we're hovering to look for what? To actually specifically read that address and kind of note the things you
Exactly.
mentioned. Okay.
Exactly. So you should be knowing your addresses. Know, for example, what would the CIBC or Canada Post or my visa processor know what their web addresses should be in Canada, and then match them against what you're seeing there, because oftentimes they won't be connected at all.
Okay, let's scare people now. What's
A little fear is probably a good thing.
what? Because we don't have enough to do. What's ghost tapping?
Ghost tapping is, and so remember that electronic fraud can happen when you're in a brick and mortar store as well. So you're in a store, you're minding your own business, and someone just taps you, bumps into you from the back. And what they're doing, they're using rogue point of sale terminals to activate the tap to pay feature that's built into pretty much every credit and debit card today, as well as your phone. You can tap to pay with your phone too. That can be activated by a rogue POS terminal too. So what you want to do is, when you're in a store, hold your bag or your wallet or anything where your cards and your phones are in front of you to minimize being bumped, and consider getting what's called a Faraday pouch, which is essentially, it stops radio transmissions from happening from the outside. That way you can control when you tap to pay, and you're protected when some stranger bumps up against you.
All right, we're going to leave it there and wish you happy and safe holidays. Hopefully none of us will be scammed, and thanks for all the advice, Carmi.
Really appreciate being with you. Thanks so much, Marcy. Have a great Christmas.
You too. Carmen Levy is a technology analyst and journalist with us this morning, talking about all those scams out there. So I heed that advice. Check everything.